Short and Silly with WebTech YouTube video on battery packs. All of them. Some of you might see every once in a while, some people have referred to this as a vague warning about batteries, lithium batteries or ion batteries, and you're not supposed to throw them out in the garbage or whatever. Let's review. Any battery pack, whether it's charged or not charged up, can start a fire. Yeah, you heard it. If it goes into the trash system, if the trash compactor has the effect of breaking, damaging, or compressing a battery, it can produce an enormous amount of heat. A good example is a lantern battery. These are the big square ones they have in the big, usually floating flashlights. They contain four 1.5 volt batteries that are enormous. They're F cells, and they can put out 20 amperes. If you're not aware of it, 20 amps is enough to spot weld metal together because it melts the metal. So if this comes in contact with any bit of metal, doesn't matter what it is, it can turn the metal, any metal object, into a heating element, and it can cause garbage to catch on fire. Garbage typically, because a lot of us in at least the United States have a tendency of making sure our trash is dry or mostly dry. In the past, many cities would cummel the garbage together and it would be partially moist. But because a lot of us have a habit, whether we know it or not, of making sure that we throw out trash that is dry and then throw other stuff into some other container, we end up having a lot of extremely flammable material in our trash cans. Now, this isn't just because it gets put into the trash compactor or the trash pickup. It can also happen in the recycling bin. It can happen in literally your own garbage can in your house. So anything that might have a battery in it, whether it's a rechargeable battery in a cell phone or anything else, it needs to be separated out and made sure that it doesn't have that problem. It should also be pointed out that every once in a while, like every year or so, you'll hear about someone's having an incident where not their house burns down, but they end up catching fire in a drawer in their house because it has batteries in it. The batteries will come in contact with some metal object, and the batteries themselves will start leaking, putting all sorts of nasty stuff into the, let's say, the junk drawer, but also just heating up enough that it catches a small fire. I've witnessed this in person because the drawer itself was metal at one point that I had to deal with. So how do we avoid this sort of thing? Anything that uses electricity can potentially have a battery in it. Look for a warning on it about proper disposal and where to take it to. So I'll just give you the quick list. If you have any kind of cell phone and it has an inbuilt battery, meaning it's designed to make sure you have to throw it away eventually, aka, well, it's really bad design, it should be removable. You should take it to the store that it was at and turn it in for recycling the item. Make sure it's taken someplace that they will actually blank it first. Make them blank it in front of you. If the place wants to charge you money for blanking your phone, don't use that. Get a local geek or technician or friend to do it for you if you need to. It's not that complicated. Just fill up the phone after erasing it with random garbage. Same thing with computers, etc. But the main thing is we're talking about the battery. If it's removable, the battery can be taken to any place that recycles or reprocesses batteries. Look for battery remaking or battery recycling places. Or at many stores, you can find battery recycling places. All they do is they properly process them. However, there's a rather sad and joking reference to, in a couple of cities, people putting it in the battery recycling box and finding out that that it caught on fire in those things. Those are almost always fireproof containers that are lined with insulating material, and it's presumed that there's a small chance of them all catching on fire at once. Lithium batteries have another characteristic, however. If they catch on fire, they make an enormous amount of noxious material come out of them, and it technically is flammable, and it can burn. Normally it doesn't, but it can. And it can happen from a rupture, a puncture, short circuit, anything. All of the energy stored in the battery gets released. Whether it's completely discharged or partially charged, it has an effect on it, but for the most part you should treat it like you would any battery, just assume it's charged. And remember, an alkaline battery can do the same thing under certain conditions. 9-volt batteries can do this. Anything electrical can do this. So if you have a question about this sort of thing, well, basically find, just randomly strolling around at various stores and places that have technical stuff, look for a place where you can take old cell phones and old batteries and simply have them processed correctly, because they need to be, well, reprocessed correctly. Some companies process them. Don't do this yourself. in a fluid. It's not water, it's something else. It looks like water, but it's something else, where they put the battery in it and then grind it up to get the materials out of it. It completely eliminates its ability to catch on fire. Lithium battery fires are a lot like thermite. You can't put them out. So if you have cell phones or whatever, don't just throw them in the trash. You need to take them where the phone can get recycled. And honestly, if you're throwing it in the trash, you don't care about the data being stolen. So I would recommend taking it to a place where at least they say they're going to erase it correctly and reprocess it. And this is the reason everybody should buy equipment that has batteries you can pull and doesn't have a permanently installed one. Just saying. But that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it. So will I. Bye.